Changeup has been that hot pitch that's been talked about very widely over the last 2 seasons. So we'll get into more of that. As you saw, just at 3% usage for Gray so far in his young career. But we are underway as he delivers a strike to Brandon Nimmo.
Nimmo in his walk year, so he will be trying to put up his best numbers.
He is, and he's paid his dues. You know, he's been a guy who's gone up and down, who's dealt with some injuries, but when he gets consistent playing time, he can get on base with the best of them.
And we shouted out Soto's on-base percentage, so we got to give some love to Brandon Nimmo, whose eye is second only to Juan Soto's. He had an OBP over 400 in 3 of the past 4 seasons.
Yeah, he's a guy. He's a prototypical leadoff hitter, like you used to see. The leadoff hitter's normally taking the first pitch. He's trying to get his teammates to be able to see, his arsenal, the arsenal that Gray is using out there today, so he can go back and report that to his teammates on how he looks. He's comfortable hitting with 2 strikes. He has the second lowest chase rate in baseball behind Soto. So he trusts, that what he sees, he's not going to attack it unless it's in the zone.
Gray ahead of Nimmo with a 1-2 count. For a young guy like Gray to follow behind somebody like Patrick Corbin, who's been there, he's seen a lot of opening days. I mean, the pomp and circumstance, it can really rattle you up. You get all those emotions. You get a little high-strung maybe watching it. How big, though, is that for somebody like Gray to follow behind Corbin?
I think he understands the importance that that he is for this rotation, especially with Ross down, especially with Strasburg down. Gray understands that he is a vital piece of this rotation, so you can't get wrapped up in just being the young guy anymore. You have to understand, hey, I'm here to play. I'm here to help my team win. At this point in the season, nobody cares about the projections or where somebody feels like you're going to place or automatically puts you in pin for last place. You're going out there to make a name for yourself and to continue to play well.
Well, he's making a name for himself here. A strikeout of Brandon Nimmo gets things started for Josiah Gray. 1 down. He'll bring up Starling Marte.
Right here, you see, snap that slider off right there on the inside corner to him. Nimmo swings right over it.
Well, Marte digs in. We've got some really cool news just now because if you can imagine on these Apple TV Plus games, we've got some good technological advantages. Apple said the Apple TV 4K devices are on their way, and they want to hear from Soto and his teammates their favorite shows on Apple TV Plus.
Oh,
we got to go into the whole lot of it here now.
Wait, does that work? We just say into these microphones what we want and someone makes it happen?
No, Hannah, that's not how it works. Soto says what he wants and things happen. We got to get that right. We are not Soto.
Man, it's so good to be a generational baseball talent.
This one on the ground, over to third. Franco on the run with a leap over to first. Josh Bell makes the scoop. Marte retired.
It's a nice play to keep you loose early in the game. Franco knows that Marte can run, so he understands he has to come in, one-hand that ball, get the throw off as quick as possible. Great scoop by Bell.
And Maikel Franco getting some time out there. Carter Kieboom was injured right before the start of the season, and so Franco, who they had picked up, wins out and having that advantage for now. Kieboom out with an arm strain. Of course, though, we did talk to Martinez, and he said that he will be back up. He's not done getting some chances as they try to take another look at one of the guys that they're trying to fill that big third base spot.
Yeah, Kieboom's development could be crucial if the Nats are going to make this a rapid rebuild, and that's what they say it is.
And stands Francisco Lindor. Strike for the switch hitter. Lindor trying to bounce back after a tough year last year, but there has been nothing but glowing positivity that he has found every adjustment and change he needed to make, both internally and externally for the game, and really figure out this Mets clubhouse.
Yeah, man, we're talking to Buck in the clubhouse. Lindor came into spring training exactly like Buck was hoping. You're not holding on to last year's stress. You're not carrying that over into this next year. You have some great pieces that, the Mets have put in place to build around you. You don't have that same pressure on yourself, and you start from scratch. Come out here, do your thing, and carry over the successful spring.
Lindor with a towering blast out to left field. This one shallow, playable, and right at the wall. There's a collision there as Hernandez takes a look back at Escobar. He's got to unhook his glove out of the netting. That one went into the stratosphere.
Well, it's a lot of ground to cover out here. Just happen to hit that Bermuda Triangle in foul ground. Perfect spot. Everybody came out healthy. Lindor has new life.
You have to imagine that front seat row for those fans, just seeing these two guys coming full speed towards them. Hey there.
Gray was able to get Nimmo with that slider right under the bat. Be curious to see if he attacks Lindor the same way early in the game.
Here comes Gray, and he gets Lindor down to a knee. 2 strikeouts for the young Josiah Gray. A clean top of the first, and it's time for Mad Max. You're watching Friday Night Baseball. They held him in as he took on a special ceremony tonight. There's no holding him back. He is ready to go and is greeted with a standing ovation that you would expect nonetheless. And it's immediately a first pitch bunt down the line. They're going to make Scherzer field this one himself. And he's working about as quickly as you would expect him to.
And that's all part of the plan. Right out the gate, Cesar Hernandez says, you know what? In spring training, he had that tweaked hammy. Let me get this bunt down, make him run a little bit, but unfortunately he bunted it right back to Scherzer. It was an easy play. But if he could have pulled that down that right, that first base line, could have made, Scherzer get on his horse right out the gate and kind of see where his hammy really stands.
Well, we've been hearing it's all systems relatively a go for Scherzer, a guy who's been very self-aware of his own body. And here's the matchup. Juan Soto also showing bunt. He takes a strike. Now, the two have described this matchup. Scherzer doesn't show a lot of external reaction, but Soto was just excited. We saw him talking to Brooke. He was ready to go.
These are two ultimate competitors going head-to-head right here. This is going to be fun to watch, today. I wish we could watch it all season, but we're going to see it today. And Soto's not going to give in. Scherzer won't either.
Soto very aware of his zone, and that's been one of his hallmarks. He can walk, he can hit, he can homer.
Oh, how lovely is it to be that good and be smiling in the box while you're facing Max Scherzer.
Soto with a shot up again, high out into shallow left field. In comes Mark Canha. He makes the catch. And 2 down. Let's go ahead and take a look at that Nationals lineup. Again, is filled out by Dave Martinez, trying to go against his old guy in Max Scherzer. Take a look. Cesar Hernandez in the leadoff spot. Juan Soto, you just saw him batting second. Nelson Cruz, Josh Bell cleaning things up. Keibert Ruiz, the backstop right in the middle. Yadier Hernandez in left field. Michael Franco at third base. Alcides Escobar, the shortstop. And D. Strange Gordon in center field. He's getting some outfield looks. The Nationals had him listed as their outfielder to start the season, and all things sound like he's had a pretty good time out there. Immediate contact for Nelson Cruz as well. Man, they don't really care what you would expect from a guy like Cruz. They're going to be aggressive.
They're going to be aggressive today. They're assuming Scherzer is going to come in attacking the zone, which he does. Which Scherzer will give up some homers because he is so aggressive in the zone. And there's no reason to give a guy like that a free strike because, if you get behind in the count, especially to right-handed hitters, that devastating slider is coming or that split.
And he's going 3 for 3 in first pitch strikes this evening.
Cruz is particularly good against Max Scherzer so far in his career, slashing .429, .448, .857 with 3 home runs in 29 plate appearances. It's tough to be that good against Max Scherzer.
Well, it's also tough to be Nelson Cruz.
And talking to Cruz before the game, he was...
Well, you're going to have to tell us Cruz's thoughts here in a minute, as that's a strikeout. Not